So, hello there, and welcome back to another Night of the Movies podcast. I'm Spike Knight, and in these podcasts, I like talking all things movies and TV, and whatever I want, whenever I want. And in today's podcast, I'm reviewing Piece by Piece. So, let's get into it, shall we? Piece by Piece is this new documentary all about Pharrell Williams' life, and it's told through Lego animation. And I must admit, straight off the bat, that I was not excited about watching this film, but I was interested in seeing it nonetheless. You know, I wasn't excited about it because I'm not really a fan of Pharrell Williams. Don't get me wrong, he's made some very catchy songs, for sure. No one's doubting that. Happy is one of those songs that every time you hear it just gets stuck in your head. It's one of those earworms, and I used to love it. I don't love that song anymore, but, you know, it's a catchy song, and I understand why a lot of people felt this love for it when that song came out, and I like Get Lucky quite a bit, which he did with Daft Punk, and there's a couple of these other songs which I like, but I'm not really a fan of Pharrell Williams' music, and I don't really care about learning about his life, because before watching this film, I didn't really know what he'd done in the music industry, but I was interested in watching this film because I'm a big Lego fan, as you may have guessed if you are a fan of the channel. If you will, I always feel weird when I say fan of the channel. The idea of me having fans doesn't sit right with me. But anyway, if you are a fan of the channel, you may have seen over the past couple of weeks, I've been doing Legoland vlogs. You know, I went to Legoland about a month or so ago now, and I did a bunch of vlogs whilst I was there because I love going to Legoland. And I love going to Legoland because I'm a huge Lego fan. You can't see that well from the view I've got currently on this recording right now, but I do have some Lego back there. I've got a Lego Yoda over there, some Lego Star Wars helmets, but I've got loads of Lego here which you can't see. I love collecting Lego. I don't care that some people say, oh, you're too old to collect Lego. It's one of the things which grinds my gears when somebody says, really, you still collect Lego at the age you're at now? There is Lego specifically designed for adults. There is Lego specifically designed for adults. And I don't care what anybody says, I still collect Lego, I still build Lego, and I love doing so. And I remember watching the Lego movie all the way back in like 2015, because I watched that when it came out DVD. I didn't go to see it in the cinema. It came out in 2014, but I didn't get to see it till 2015 then. And I loved that film. I was so surprised by it. I didn't think a Lego movie could work. And then I remember in 2018 when I got the Lego Batman movie on DVD, and I loved that movie as well. I thought it was absolute genius. So when I heard that another Lego movie was being made, I was like, you know what, you've got my money. Because anytime there's like a Lego animated thing, whether it's a film or TV show, I immediately get interested to a certain point. You know, about a month or two ago now, I viewed Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy on this channel because I was interested in it, as it was a Lego Star Wars animated thing on Disney Plus. And this, as far as I'm aware, and I think I'm right in saying this is the first time a music documentary has been told through Lego animation. And that is all I needed to hear in order to get me to go and watch this at the cinema. And that's exactly what I went to go and do yesterday. And the Google plot synopsis for this film goes as follows. Lego bricks to tell the life story of singer/songwriter and record producer Pharrell Williams, from his childhood in Virginia to his success in the music and fashion industry. And that's pretty much all you need to know about this film before seeing it. And honestly, I thought this film was okay. It wasn't bad at all, and I actually enjoyed myself for the most part watching this in the cinema, and it's definitely got a lot of merit in there. The animation is creative and colourful in the way you want from a film like this, and the way you want from a Lego animated film, and this film does what any good documentary should do. You know, it informs you on a story or on a person that you perhaps didn't know much about prior to seeing the film. I knew almost nothing about Pharrell Williams before seeing this film, and now I know how he got into the music industry. Now I also know that he worked with people like Gwen Stefani, Snoop Dogg, Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, Justin Timberlake, which I didn't know before seeing this film. And there was a lot that I learned in this film which I didn't know beforehand. I liked how this film did Pharrell Williams. I can't pronounce Pharrell sometimes. I'm not great at pronouncing R's, I've noticed. But I did really like how Pharrell Williams' love story was done in this film. And again, there was a lot to like, particularly the Lego animation. But I was sat there watching the film, and I couldn't help but think, would this be working if it wasn't done in Lego animation? And my answer is, I don't think so. And I hate to say that, because I really wanted to love this film. I wanted to come out of it the same way I came out of the Lego Batman movie or the Lego movie. The same way I felt after finishing those films when I watched them on DVD however many years ago now. When I came away from those Lego movies, I felt like I just watched something special. And with this film, I wanted that same feeling. I wanted to come out the cinema like the same way I felt after watching the Lego movie and after watching the Lego Batman movie. But I didn't. I came out of the cinema and I was left feeling underwhelmed. Again, it's not a bad film. There are definitely things to like about it. But because it's a Lego film, it doesn't succeed in really telling Pharrell Williams' story to the full extent that it could have, because it doesn't really go into the dark part of his life too much. There is a section of the film which focuses on a dark stage that happened in his musical career, but at the same time, Pharrell Williams is a musical artist. He's been around for quite a bit of time now, and I imagine in his time he's probably taken drugs quite a bit with quite a few famous other artists, and he's probably been involved in some scandal here and there. I don't know for certain, but I'm just guessing, because that's what's usually the case with musical artists. However, like I've already said, because of the nature of this documentary, because it's a Lego film, it doesn't really cover that. It doesn't really cover the dark stage of his life, to the point that whenever someone swears during this film, because when you get the interviews from artists, and by the way, side note here, although it is related to the film, I love the fact that Pharrell Williams, when he was asking his musical mates to be in this film, he didn't tell them that they were going to be Lego animated. So they did all the interviews for this film not knowing that they were going to be animated in Lego, which is a very funny fact when it comes to this movie, and does make all the musical artist appearances that little bit more funnier. But at the same time though, what was I saying before? I just lost track of what I was saying. Of course I did. But I think I was saying something on the lines of, when you get to see these interviews from famous people, it doesn't really go into the dark stages of his life, because it's all told through Lego animation. It's trying to be a family-friendly film. And that was it. Whenever a character swears in this film, for the most part, it's bleeped. And I didn't love that. It was funny for like the first 2 times it happened, but then it kept happening. And it was like, okay, they're bleeping the swearing here because they're trying to appeal to a family audience. They're trying to appeal to a youthful audience, as well as an audience who may love Pharrell Williams' music. But I don't feel the film truly succeeds in that, because it doesn't really... It feels more like you are seeing Pharrell Williams' story, and it feels like it's playing out from a Wikipedia page. That's what it kind of feels like. It doesn't really get below the surface level of its central character, of the person you are following in this film, because it doesn't get too dark, as it's a Lego animated film. And I think the Lego saves this movie, because I think if this film wasn't animated, I think if this film didn't have this Lego animation that brought it to life, then it wouldn't have worked, and it would have made the film probably a really dull watch. But at the same time, I think the fact that it was also animated in this Lego film way also made it so that the film doesn't get too deep and too dark, because it's trying to appeal to a family audience. Yeah, the majority of this film is focused on the more upbeat and colourful sections of Pharrell Williams' life, and when those upbeat and colourful sections come in, they are fun and exciting to watch. I just wish the film had more of a balance of those fun and enjoyable sections and the dark sections too, because I don't really think it managed to strike that balance. I also felt that the pacing was off in certain parts, particularly for a film like this, which is on somebody, which is based on somebody who is so engrossed in music, who has this passion for music, and you feel that when you watch the film. But the film also loses its beating part, and it's strangely paced on, and it's a strange film. I'm not really sure if this was the best. If you're going to do a Lego music documentary, I'm not sure if doing it on Pharrell Williams was the best choice. Sure, if you weren't interested in Pharrell Williams and you liked Lego, you probably would go and watch his movie now, like I did. But at the same time, I feel like if, I don't know, perhaps a more family-friendly artist had wanted to do this, wanted to tell their story in the form of Lego animation, I think it might have worked better. Like, say, someone, I don't know, Taylor Swift, she just comes to mind right now. She wanted to have a Lego documentary all made about her. That would make total sense. I don't know, maybe even the Beatles would make more sense. But at the same, actually, they probably wouldn't if you think about the Beatles' later life. But I don't know, Queen, if they wanted to have a documentary made about their life, but in the form of Lego animation, I think that would make more sense than Pharrell Williams. Is the point I'm making, because again, it didn't feel like this was the right way to tell his story. And although I do think the Lego animation saves this film, I also think it's the reason the film doesn't quite succeed in being something special. The Lego animation makes this film uniquely enjoyable. It makes it heartfelt, it makes it inspiring and visually entertaining to watch. But also, at the same time, it stops the film from going too dark and getting into the really nitty-gritty stuff that I'm sure has happened for Pharrell Williams' life. Yeah, I don't know. The film, I really felt could have been better, and I wish it was. But again, it's not a bad watch. It's got a good soundtrack, and it's funny at times. I did laugh quite a few times watching the film. And yeah, it's enjoyable to watch. It's just not anything special. And for a Lego movie, I was hoping it was going to be. Because Lego movies have been in the past. And I was really thinking, this is a unique way to tell Pharrell Williams' story, and if they get it right, it could be one of the films of the year. But unfortunately, it wasn't. And so, all in all, I'm going to say that piece by piece, I'm going to say it's a 7 out of 10. Even so being quite negative in this review today, I did still like watching the film. I don't want to say that I didn't. It's paced strangely at times. The film is strange as well. It's a very strange film when you think about it. And again, I wish it got darker. And I don't know if this was the right way to tell Pharrell Williams' story, but I did enjoy the Lego of it all. That was the thing. And I did sit there with a smile on my face in quite a few moments in this film. Quite a few sections of this film. And I definitely didn't think it was bad. I felt that it could have been and should have been so much better, and that's the thing. It had the opportunity to be, but it didn't quite hit that mark for me. Still, I enjoyed watching it, and I did think that the Lego saved it all, because, as I said before, I was sat there watching the film thinking, if this wasn't in Lego, would I actually be enjoying it? But the fact remains, it was all done in this Lego animation, which, yeah, I'll admit, works for me and made me smile and made this a more enjoyable watch than I think it deserved to be, in all honesty. And so, all in all, as I've already said, and as I'm going to say once more in this podcast today, Piece by Piece is a 7 out of 10 from me. Anyway, guys, that's it for today's podcast. If you have seen Piece by Piece, please let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching or listening to this podcast. And if you haven't yet, please do click down below and like and subscribe on this video. And look forward to many more videos and many more podcasts coming very, very soon on this channel. As I already said, thank you so much for watching or listening to this podcast. And I suppose this is it. So I will see you guys again soon. But bye for now. Bye.